up, fellow tycoons? It's Marquita, aka your brand building bestie, aka the Saucey Tycoon, and I'm here to help you find your vibe. All right, so today I'm gonna be asking you rather, how much help do you need? Okay, so I help creative entrepreneurs build superior brands by helping them to understand how to leverage brand marketing and Web3 technologies. So if that sounds like you and you are looking for some help, maybe you're just trying to get started, maybe you've already started and you might be stuck, maybe you just have no idea how to start a business and you're looking for some type of guidance, I'm going to talk about a few different types of ways you can go about getting that guidance and essentially start hitting the ground running when it comes to building your superior brand. All right. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started. I always be putting the top on here wrong. Like, get it together, girl. All right. So I think this is helpful to know because when I started my journey, I definitely needed some help, but I didn't know really where to go. I did a lot of Google searching and I tried a lot of stuff and I went down a lot of rabbit holes, hit a lot of dead ends. It was a whole mess trying to get some help out here. It was confusing. And when I started my entrepreneur journey, it wasn't as many resources available as it is today. There were some, but you really had to look for those resources, and you had to take your time and piece stuff together. Blogging was a big thing, still is a big thing, but that was when blogging was really starting to take off, and I actually began my entrepreneurship journey with a blog website, and I've pretty much been learning and teaching myself thanks to people such as myself that come on platforms such as these and decide, hey, I'm gonna help other people and put a little video or something together to help other people on this journey. So that's what it is all about. But the major thing that you gotta look at before you even set foot on this journey is understanding where you are at and how much help you're gonna need, and beginning to seek out those resources that best fit your situation, because everybody's situation is going to be different, whether there's an issue about money and what you can actually afford as far as certain resources for guidance, and those are the couple of things that I'm going to talk about today. So when we get into being able to access certain types of resources, you always have that one category that I'm pretty sure everybody has dove into at some point in time, and that is DIY. Actually, let me put this over here so we can squeeze all of these up here. All right, so DIY, which of course stands for do it yourself. Now, this is the stage that pretty much everybody usually starts off as. Usually, there are exceptions. I know for me personally, this is where I started because I didn't have a large budget. I was just getting started on my entrepreneurship journey. So I really had to, like I mentioned before, go out and just get the information, invest my time into learning what I could, and actually just by trial and error, being open to just getting it wrong, making mistakes, which are really just lessons to help you get to where you need to go. So doing it yourself, it can be beneficial when you're first starting out because it's cost effective, Usually you can find free or low cost of resources for things that allow you to just take some instructions and go and implement them on your own. And so DIY is good for people It's good for people who are already pretty self-motivated. Right? You may have already taken some steps. So we'll say you've started already. We'll just say started already. Okay. Let's see. You are self-driven. You are naturally a leader. You probably are intrigued by innovation. Hopefully I don't run out of room here. All right. So I'd say that these are some of the top ones that I've run into on my journey. So I think that actually will relate to a lot of others as well. But these are definitely characteristics of a person who might be comfortable seeking out DIY resources and starting their journey there. Which that's always a great place to start because you learn a lot. Call this column benefits because you learn a lot. Cost effective. Wear many hats. Which that just translates over to skills. All right, so as far as the types of characteristics, most of these speak for themselves. Being intrigued by innovation, that's pretty much like wanting to be somewhat of a pioneer, wanting to do something just a little bit different, wanting to improve on something in an industry, maybe where you're seeing. Maybe you might see some opportunities in the industry and you have like a different idea and you're like, yeah, I want to create my own thing. So that is, that's very innovative, and that's a good thing to be when you're starting out on this journey. You definitely want to have that under your belt, your skill set belt. Naturally a leader. If you were somebody who like was in charge of doing projects in like school, or people just naturally rotate towards you when it comes to leading, definitely you can handle DIY. You're self-driven, meaning you can draw from within yourself and discipline yourself to do the things that you need to do in order to make things align, or in order to fall in alignment with what you're trying to do. You've already started, so you probably have already tried doing some things, whether it's getting your own website or creating your own product, but you've already started the journey and you're self-motivated. So again, you draw from inspiration yourself, but you also have your own dreams. You're not afraid to dream. You are using your vision. When I say dreams, like your vision, you're cultivating your vision and keeping that you're cultivating a vision and you're keeping that as something at the forefront of your mind as a way to motivate yourself to keep going when you're in the first leg of this entrepreneurship journey. So that was a mouthful. We're going to move on to the next resource, which is coaching. So let me kind of separate this. All right. I'm definitely probably going to have to get some different markers. These are good, but I would like the tips to be flatter. They're round, and when I'm trying to write these letters big, it is just not cooperating. I'm like, what is really going on? All right. So coaching. Coaching is something that I have experience with. I have done coaching programs, and I would say that I feel like coaching is one of those things that I feel is best reserved for those who are evolving from this stage, because you already have many of the skill sets ingrained in you already. So these skill sets help you get to a place where you're kind of getting your wheels going and you have some type of system set up or some type of business already set up, like you got your own website and your products, and so you're just looking to build upon that and expand and continue to improve that to reach business goals or whatever goals you have set or milestones you may have set in order to move your brand forward. Okay, so a lot of times coaching is just to have someone come in and continue to help you monitor what you have going on, what you have set up, and make sure that you continue to progress. So coaching can be beneficial in that regard, because a lot of times with coaching, it's usually long term, and it's kind of like when you I akin it to like when you kind of go out and retain like a lawyer for a set period of time to deal with issues. You can kind of do the same thing with coaching. You can bring someone on to fill a certain opportunity and help to serve in a situation where you might be needing longer term guidance when not necessarily white glove service. It could be like white glove where someone is just like at your beck and call, but it's just it's more of a closer knit type of relationship, so where that coach may be just a bit more involved in holding you accountable for certain things while you're continue to build upon and improve your business brand. Okay? So we'll say the benefits of this is continued accountability or consistent accountability. Okay, so that means with the assistant accountability, you stay the course and accelerate your business faster. I might mess up spelling accelerate, so don't judge me. Okay, so you can accelerate your brand, and you can also skip making, I won't say mistakes. You can skip taking unnecessary I would say skip taking unnecessary steps. And I'm gonna mess this word up too. Don't judge me, y'all. I feel like I'm missing the end. I don't know, like unnecessary and accelerate, those words are definitely messing me up. I'm probably gonna watch this video back and be like, especially if I spelled it wrong. All right, so consistent accountability, accelerate your brand, and skip taking unnecessary steps. So these are definitely some benefits of getting coaching. And then Next, we have consulting. Which is personally one of my favorite types of resources as well. And I'll discuss why here in a minute. Okay. All right, so now we have consulting. So consulting, I feel like consulting is for a person who is more like, you're DIY, yes, but you're more so one of those people like you can take instruction well and execute it. And even furthermore, you have good critical thinking skills and you can take information provided to you and you're able to process it and relate it to your business or situation that fits you. So you probably, more than likely, will be a solution-based type person who can take direction very well and go out and implement things. So basically, it's like you're very good at project management. So with consulting is more cost effective. I would say just as cost effective, just like DIY is cost effective. I would say you don't have to, let me see, I would say it's time effective as well. Because as with coaching, you're going to be spending more of your time with your coach. And so that's probably consistent meetings. So if you are a person like myself, for example, for me, I've tried doing coaching before, but it's just, for me, I don't really need that hands-on type of resource. I would much rather go to someone and ask questions for the things I need. If you give me the instructions, directions, or experiences, and I can come up with my own solution and plan and start kind of taking steps, I want to be able to just go and ask a knowledgeable person about, hey, how can I, can you assist me with this specific thing? I don't necessarily need my handheld, so to speak, throughout the whole process. I enjoy learning, I enjoy implementing solutions and creating things. So I like to do most of the groundwork because I'm okay with it. I can totally do it. So if that also sounds like you, then consulting may just be something that you may want to seriously consider. Especially if you have started already and you are just needing to know, hey, okay, I just have questions. And if you just have questions and you want to be able to reach out to a knowledgeable person, it's not every day that you run across people that you can ask questions about building a brand. So consulting can be very helpful. It's cost effective. It's whenever you need that assistance. So maybe you're paying for a single session or a couple of sessions here and there, and you're getting that guidance and insight, and you go back and you apply it to what you have started already, and you rinse and repeat. Okay. And then myself considering all of these things, DIY, coaching, and consulting, I wanted to, when thinking about what I wanted to provide and how I can serve and help entrepreneurs who are coming up on this path of entrepreneurship, such as myself, I wanted to create something that was cost effective as well as time effective. And this is because I know majority of entrepreneurs, a lot of us, we still work full time. I currently work full time myself. So you may not be in a space where you can just drop like $10,000 for a coaching program to like scale your brand, to like accelerate your brand in a specific manner. But you may be able to afford some consulting, but you may not need extensive consulting, or not extensive, excuse me. You may not need multiple consulting sessions. You may be okay with just one, and then just receiving DIY instructions so you can take the next steps in building your brand. And that's where I've put these two together. Getting this board clean is a task. Bear with me. So like I was saying, between the three choices, I wanted to pick DIY. And consulting. This is time and cost effective. It's self-paced. It allows for collaborative creativity, meaning you don't have to figure everything out yourself. You know, you have the consulting session to ask questions and get clarity on what you have built, what you have started building, or what you want to build and what you have going on. So a lot of times it's good to have a soundboard, a real live person that you can actually speak with, and someone that really understands what it is that you're dealing with. Someone to validate what you've come up with, or invalidate it, because sometimes I remember my first few brand ideas they sucked, you know. It took me about three or four different tries before I found something that stuck, and before I understood okay, this is what it should look like. But anyway, so it allows for collaborative creativity, and it's flexible. It's something that you can pick up and sit down, pick up and sit down, pick up and sit down, depending on what you got going on in life, because it's never a straight shot. You're usually going to go through a great journey when you start out in entrepreneurship, but with DIY and consulting, it gives you a flexible timeline, so to speak, to be able to accomplish everything, or be able to start laying the foundation and groundwork to accomplish the great ideas and move towards the great visions that you have for your brand. Okay. All right, so as far as DIY, you have ebooks. Actually, let me move this over here. I I'm trying not to make this video too long, but hey, I feel like there's some good information and good resources I'm about to provide for you. So you might want to stick around and take this information in. Okie dokie. So there's ebooks, Intro to Brand Building, Stop Fix Your Marketing Now, there's workbooks, Stop Fix Your Marketing Now workbook, that's a mouthful. There's videos, I'm getting there, y'all. All right, there are PDF files. We'll say because I want to go through and talk about these real quick. Right? And there are guides. I can't spell. All right. I didn't realize how much this was going to be right. Thank you for bearing with me. I promise this is going to be, you're going to want to stick around for this. I promise. Okay. Then you have consulting. And this consulting is transformative consulting. Transformative, personalized, empowering, and I'm trying to think of what word I want to use, but we'll come back to it for sake of time. I'm not sure how long this video is currently thus far. So here's a list of types of the DIY resources I provide, and I'm going to talk a bit about my consulting. Okay, so ebooks. So combining DIY and consulting, I do have these available singly, or you can get these as a bundle depending on how much help you need. Okay, if you're just slowly looking for DIY, this is what I have. And then if you want to combine the two, this is what I have. So ebooks, intro to brand building. So of course, this is my free resource that can be downloaded on my website at sauceytycoon.com. The intro to brand building ebook basically is a crash course of sorts, handbook to introduce you to the basics of brand building and give you like those foundational building blocks that you can instantly implement to take whatever you have built to the next level. Make it legit. Make sure you're doing it in a way that's gonna continue to grow. Okay, and so that is free resource that I provide because I want you to hit the ground running, no excuses. And then once you see how well this information works, you can take it up another notch and get my paid ebook, which is Stop Fix Your Marketing Now. This is available on my website at sauceytycoon.com. So Stop Fix Your Marketing Now is a book I wrote and self-published in 2021. It's on Amazon, the hard copy, or if you want to go ahead and get the digital copy, it is on my website. Okay, so Stop Fix Your Marketing Now is basically a marketing handbook guide. It's gonna basically give you everything that you need to know. It also includes a marketing strategy template, so you can go ahead and get started with planning out your marketing and taking some great direction and leaps towards continuing to grow your brand. It's packed full of nuggets. I highly recommend checking it out. Like I said, it is available in hard copy on Amazon, but the digital copy, of course, is significantly less money. So I would definitely say start with my Intro to Brand Building ebook and build upon that with the Stop Fix Your Marketing Now. I can't stress enough how much value is in this book. Okay, go get it. Go get it. All right. And I also have the accompanying Stop Fix Your Marketing Now workbook as well, and that is to help reinforce the information that you will get from the handbook. Excuse me. Videos. I have 3 videos: how to create a brand, how to market a brand, and intro to Web3. So the first 2 I'm sure are pretty self-explanatory. We're talking about how to create a brand and how to market a brand. And then we have intro to Web3. So Web3, this is an actual extra gem right here. Web3 is the next phase of the internet. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's definitely some misinformation out there about like what Web3 is, and this gives you a basic breakdown of why it's called the new internet. Basically, it's just the next phase of the internet, where the internet is going, and it talks a bit about how that is important to you being an entrepreneur and how you can start to understand how the next stage of the internet, or the evolution of the internet, is going to impact you as a brand owner, and I would say an extremely positive way. So yeah, you're going to have to go watch the video. I'm not going to go into it right now. It would make the video too long. But if you have heard of blockchain technology, and you've heard of crypto, and you've heard of blockchain communities or crypto communities, and you're not too knowledgeable, definitely check this out. Great information as well to put yourself ahead of the curve. Remember, we're building superior brands, so we gotta stay ahead of the game. So technology is not going anywhere, so you definitely want to take advantage, okay? Right, then you have your guides. So Web3 business blueprint. So we already have the intro to Web3 video, and all of these, I'm sorry, are PDF files as well. So all three of these have an accompanying PDF file guide, again, to reinforce the information from the video. Sorry, I left that out. All right, and then there's an additional guide as a bonus called the Web3 Business Blueprint. So this is basically going to give you a step-by-step guide of how to start implementing some of the new Web3 technologies, such as blockchain applications or blockchain run applications, and that can be social media networks. What's the apps like Coinbase, or I forget the technical term for it right now. Exchanges, crypto exchanges, digital wallets, things of that nature. This basically is going to give you a step-by-step blueprint of how to get the basic stuff set up so you can start to essentially cultivate a community and presence in the next level of the internet. I know that probably sounds so complicated and so just like, what are you talking about? I get it. I promise you, if you go and watch this video and get a basic understanding, this will make sense, okay? But for sake of time, I'm not going to go into super detail, okay? So that pretty much, I think, is gonna wrap up this video. So once again, consider how much help you need depending on the journey that where you're at in your journey, depending on your skill set, what you're willing to take on, what you're not willing to take on. And you can check out some of the DIY products on my website. You can check out my consulting packages on my website. And you can also leave any questions down in the comments for me to answer. You can reach out to me on social media. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about my products and services. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's your brand building bestie, Marquita, signing out. Peace.